parents ever tell you, go and read your book? And you thought it was punishment. Oh, we have the man himself, Bayode Treasures Olawumi, who is making a treasure out of reading. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I mean, we're as excited as anybody else who's watching this right now that a Nigerian has entered the Guinness Book of World Records for reading. And they always told us that if you wanted to hide anything from an African, put it in a book. Now, you have destroyed that myth permanently. What was it about, I mean, really, what attracted you to reading in the first place?
Well, I will say good morning.
Yes.
And thank you for having me here this morning.
Good morning.
This all came about from the streets.
From the streets?
From the streets. The youth out there, they want to attain stardom. They want to get wealth. They want to be popular. They want to be famous. I come from Ikorodu. Some months back, some young guys, 18, 17, 16, 24, they went about killing people, taking their blood.
So-called Bado.
All to make money. The general notion these days is that, okay, I can make money through Yahoo, or through sports, through music. Now, I have nothing against sports and music. They add color to everything. I do music too. I love sports. I watch football. I'm a Chelsea fan. However, education is still the best and the biggest platform upon which you can do anything you want to do. There was a day I was having this argument with my friends, and they almost beat me up. A graduate, believing that Yahoo pays more than education.
Wow.
That day I cried, and I said, I need to fill this vacuum. I need to be the voice on the hill, raising this clarion call. It is time to go back to the drawing board. It is time for us to do things in the right way. America, England, Germany, France, China, even India are not where they are today because of sports or entertainment. They are here because they studied hard, deliberate efforts at studying, at research. And they are where Africa cannot get to where they are today via sport and entertainment. It is not possible.
All right, you read 17 books. And I deliberately used the word just, 5 days. Yeah, because I know, full well how difficult it is, to, sit down and concentrate, read a whole book. How easy was it for you to read 17 books
in 5 days?
In 5 days, and how did you, prepare your schedule, to achieve that?
First thing I would say, it was suicidal. Because before I did the one...
And you were reading aloud.
Yes, that's a lot of energy. I mean, after we're done here, 2 hours of sitting here 7 to 9 every morning and just talking, you know what it saps
Before I did the 122 hours, one of my sponsors, they told me that they are a big brand. They can't put their name behind what they're not certain of. So I need to do like a trial run. I jumped at it because I have been around looking for who can support. But the answer was negative. No company was willing to. So it's not even only the youth now. It is the entire society. So when they said that you need to do this, I said, why not? I will do it. Then I didn't know what it entailed. Because I tried to contact the holder who's the Pakistan from Nepal to hear, okay, is there any, what can I do?
How did you do it?
How did you do
he
it?
Had 113 hours.
13 and 15 minutes. Do I need to sleep, or I should not sleep, or should I eat? But there was no contact, so I could not reach him. So I went online to Google, okay, how not to sleep for a long time. The result was, guy, don't try it. If you don't sleep, you lose memory. If you don't sleep for a long time, you may die. But I thought, okay, it is worth it. Even if I die doing this, at least because of my death, people will read. I need to go ahead. So I did 96 hours then for the straight for doing the trial runs, so which I streamlined to them via Periscope, private streaming, and they were flabbergasted. They said, wow.
So 6 hours, you reading aloud?
96
after
hours,
a book,
96 hours.
You move on to the next?
Yes, yes.
Just like that?
Yes, yes. Wow. So they brought me in and we discussed, we need to do this. After that day, or from that day, I walked around afraid.
Why?
Okay, knowing fully well what I went through during trial run.
To achieve the 96 hours.
My mind is, are you telling me that I will go through this again? My thumb was lacerated. I was bleeding. There was a time during the reading that the vein on my head was about to rupture.
Oh my.
I was hallucinating. I was feeling dizzy. But it is worth the price.
You were ready to do this. And like you said, you know, it's not just young people that don't seem to appreciate how valuable it is to read. The rest of society, the corporate organizations, including government, if you like. I mean, when you look at the budget for education, for example, nothing near encouraging, barely 7% in the 2018 budget. Now, you need a library to go read.
Yes.
Thankfully, there's this library at Yaba, on the Herbert Macaulay that you actually used.
Yes.
I doubt how many libraries are in Lagos. I know
that library actually brought this up.
Yes. Fantastic. Bankolemo is doing a good job at, you know, drawing attention to the need to actually read.
Yep.
Education is still the only way to get not just fame and fortune. That is according to you. How are you going to sell this idea beyond what you have done to the average Nigerian youth that there is a lot to gain from reading? Look, I'm a good example of you know, a product of reading. In primary school, I used to like comprehension, English, you know, comprehension and all of that. In fact, some of my friends now, back then, would tell you, yes, we knew you were not going to do anything but broadcasting. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the foundation for any career in life has to do with reading. Go into the books. And like you said, I read an interview that you had where you said even the good books, the holy books, encourage reading.
Not the good book, God.
Okay, thank you.
In the book of Daniel 2, 9 verse 2, Daniel said, I, Daniel, understood by the books that we are to spend only 70 years in exile. At that time, they had spent 74 years. Now, Israel went to exile twice.
Yes.
To Egypt and to Babylon. Now, in Egypt, Abraham did not document God's revelation, so it was not written. So it took God to reveal to Moses, okay, guy, go and deliver these people from
slavery.
From slavery. But when Jeremiah spoke, it was documented. They went to exile for 70 years. 71 years, 72 years. God did not speak to anybody.
But somebody found out.
He did not reveal to them.
By reading.
Daniel picked the book and read. Then discovered, wow, there is light in reading. A statement in a book can deliver a man.
That's why they say knowledge is power.
A paragraph in a book can transform you. I am practically transformed by one book. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book I read in 1996. Since that day, I have never looked back.
All right, Treasures, you talked earlier, and there is a sense in which this is very important about the youths at the moment who have been taken over by a culture that I deliberately call the culture of sonkonization, which is you know, the acquisition of wealth through means that are unknown and unfathomable.
Yep.
Now, there is a sense in which we must begin to desonkonize, if you like, to you know, rid their minds of this sort of negative, you know, trend.
Okay.
With what you have achieved, you know, trying to say, look, there is you can make it through education, so that we don't begin to discourage people that, oh, I mean, education, you just get your paper, you know, and nothing, you know, and all of that. So is there any kind of arrangement, you know, at the moment? Are there people, you know, willing to support you so that they use you as a front
The poster boy.
Yes,
of,
the poster boy.
Yeah.
To you know, help the youths and put them on this line and say, look, you can read, you can be educated and become, you know, great.
Yep. Yeah, I currently do something with Lagos State.
Okay.
I hope we formalize it. And this is not about Lagos State alone. It's not about Nigeria alone. This is about Africa. Remember they said that if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in the book. No, a black man. There are black men in the US. There are black men in Germany. There are black men everywhere. So this message is not only to Nigerians.
For black people everywhere.
For black people. My vision, my goal is to place a book in the hand of every African child. That will take millions of dollars. I need that money. You know, when I was growing up, I think a lot. I say, how possible can it be if I have a school, a university that will be free, that people will come in just to get knowledge for free?
Amazing.
I will do it. It is possible.
It is.
It is possible. Now is the time. There's information everywhere.
And yet?
I have a phone that can take 5 million books. But we are engaged in only Instagram and Twitter
and all the rest
Facebook.
of them. And I was actually going to ask you, between the internet and the conventional library, which would you really prefer?
I like opening the book. There's a connection.
Yes.
There's the feeling of the paper, the print. You know, you can even smell the book. You can mark. You know a particular place. You can quickly flip through, and you know there's a connection. Does
the book have to be written in English?
It could have been Yoruba.
It can be Yoruba.
It can be Igbo. Once it is a published book.
Absolutely.
Published
We need
book.
to emphasize that. Lagos State, for example, is trying to ensure that the Yoruba language
and
is
it's very important.
Yes, it's really good. Ben Bruce, Senator Ben Bruce, some time back, I recall, you know, attending an event where I emceed where he was, and he said, look, one thing that our politicians are not doing, our leaders are not doing, they're not writing books. And if nobody is writing, who's going to be reading? What is there for people to read? I mean, if a politician went through a system, for example, and he comes out of it and puts down his experiences and everything in a book, imagine how much benefit that would give to the, you know, coming generation. These were the pitfalls that I can't avoid. You know, this is how I can improve on whatever mistakes forebears, you know, made.
Yes.
That is not happening.
Now, I tell people that in life, they say there's no shortcut to success.
Absolutely none.
There is a shortcut to success.
The sayings have changed.
You just say something now. Let's say a Ben Bruce or a Jonathan writes a book. His experience during his presidency, before, during and after. How he was able to achieve what he achieved. And I want to be a president too. I will just pick the book and read.
As a guide.
As a guide. About Jonathan, about Obasanjo,
about
Buhari, about Donald Trump, about Obama. I will know. I don't have to go through what they went through. But from their writings, I have learned the pitfalls, which I will know how to go about it. As a meeting
or even how to clinch power, you know, as opposition.
Yes.
I mean, you would want a Jagaband, for example, to write a book.
As a meeting wrote a book, law of motion.
Yes.
I don't have to do the research as a Newton did. It is there for me to build the book and know. That is shortcut.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with you.
Tell us about, you know, some of the books that you read.
Okay.
I can mention some of them.
Well, there's a book I love in that collection. I'll mention the name, please. Tony Khan's book, The Carnivorous City. That book captured the whole of Lagos. It was, I read the book twice during the quest. It was fantastic. I read Independence. I read Born on Tuesday. I read the Book of Memory. I read Distant Broken. I read which other book now? About 7th, I can't remember now.
And then was it Vincent Pearl?
Yeah, no, that book was deliberate in the collection. It was so in the collection because in the course of the attempts, fatigue set in. So I knew it would happen. So I put that book in there so that I can use it to motivate myself. So while I was reading the book, I was not reading aloud to people. I was actually reading it to motivate myself.
To have intrinsic motivation.
To go the mile. Now, by the 4th day, I was tired.
I can imagine.
In fact, I was almost dying.
But
my
What
team.
was it in you that helped you keep going?
Now, I was going for 5 days.
Yeah.
At the 4th day, I couldn't afford to give up. I looked at my sponsors, what they have put, what they have staked. I couldn't afford to disappoint them. My team members, will I disappoint them? Nigerians, Africans, will I disappoint them? I cried.
So at that point, it wasn't even about you anymore. You were thinking about
No.
others.
If in that room, we all cried. I was crying. I didn't know I was crying. How will I disappoint these people? Now, I was not really out for the record, but what are you doing? When I was reading, people from secondary school, primary school, they came in. Secondary school students, they came in. Parents came in. I was overjoyed.
Yeah. All right.
I was out to promote reading.
All right, Treasure, there's no time anymore, but let me just ask this one last question. Was there a financial reward for this?
No.
Okay. But let's just say the financial reward will come.
Will come.
Definitely.
I'm expecting from Nigerians to do something about it.
Yes.
You have given us a good name already, and that's far more than all the diamonds and all the monies in the world.
Thank you.
And if you want to be a leader, please be a reader. Like they say, readers are leaders.
Absolutely.
Bayode Treasures Olawumi, thank you so much. Guinness Book of World Records. Yes, his name is written boldly in the Guinness Book of World Records.
That needs to be, we have sent the evidence to them, so they will formalize it.
They will formalize it. It's just amazing. Who would have imagined? And all those corporate sponsors, please do something. Your CSR is there. Use your money to encourage such things. I mean, we can't overemphasize that.
I'm encouraged. I want to be a voracious reader.
Look, the amount of reading I do every day, I'm already a professor.